now that I've got a better logo, I'm going to go ahead and animate it up for the start screen and then have that match on the main game screen, the play screen. So I'm going to position the logo on the main game screen here and then get an animation ready for that. I'm running the video at 8 times speed because it took about 40 minutes to do all these little tweaks and changes to the game. I wanted to have all the colors match on the buttons and just kind of theme it out so that it looks uniform on these screens. I also have some pop-ups, an information pop-up and a quit pop-up. And I also have the options pop-up, which I haven't done yet. I'll do that later on. So I have it animating up here at this point to the game, the main game screen. So it went pretty quick, aside from all the little tweaks I had to do. The pop-ups themselves had some issues that I had to fix. And I played around with colors. I'm not an artist. I mean, I'm more of... I understand what kind of vision I want to have, and I just sort of lay out stuff the way I want it to look, and then have another artist come back behind me and redo all this so it looks a lot better in the future. So now I've got all the colors done. I'll go ahead and... I haven't got all the colors. What I'm doing is I'm changing the mouse over and the fonts and other little gizmos that are here to be all the same color. And you'll notice as I go through this process, I'm also testing over and over and over again to make sure that the colors are correct, the mouse over areas are correct, and so forth. Putting a little bit of decoration in right now. A couple of cards. Probably should put in some kind of animation, something to catch the player's eye at this point, which, I haven't really thought of what exactly that will entail. I was just testing, and I found another issue with the pop-up coming up behind. So I'm going to go ahead. As I went through the pop-ups, I colorized them, fixed issues with them. A lot of times issues come up because these are such old objects that I made for a previous project that when you update in GUI or you upgrade some plugins or upgrade your version of Unity, you'll find issues with older objects that you've worked with in the past, and they need to be updated. So there's actually kind of a lengthy process of me going through and fixing the layering of how the scroll bar works, the size of everything, so it fits in right there. That's what I was doing, was fixing it to be in a portrait view instead of a landscape, because I usually use this in a landscape, and then that will allow me to reuse it in the future for portraits if I wish to. A lot of colorization, a lot of tweaking, just iterative approach of going through and testing, and that's what you need to do in every game project that you work on. Of course, if you worked on a game project before, you know that. I like the pop-ups that I have in the game. They're simple, and they've got animations already attached to them, and they have functionality. There's a string that I pass to the pop-ups to fill the information in, so you don't have to remake a pop-up over and over again with different text in it. It just dynamically loads that in, the title and the label down below that's scrollable, and the scroll bar automatically adjusts. And at this point, I noticed that the collider on the scroll bar was incorrect, so I sat there and tweaked on that for a while to try to get it correct again. And then there I got it. This issue also came up on the close button pop-up as well. So I went through and fixed that problem on that one too, which you'll see here in a bit. And that's pretty much it for the video. Just a lot of UI tweaks I'll go through and do the option screen next, and I'm going to probably go on to the gameplay after that. So maybe in 2 more videos, or the second video after this one, we'll start to see some good code and how I approach collision and for tapping on the screen and so forth. A lot of that for the buttons right now is handled all by, or it's all handled by NGUI. But for the actual game itself, it's going to require a custom bit of code to capture tap events. And you can buy a plugin called finger gestures, which I think it's not all expensive. It's maybe $45 or something like that. That will allow you to do multiple gestures and taps, swipes, and so forth, which would probably be great for this project, but I want to code this from scratch. And it's just something I like to do. There's some considerations of how to approach that, which would probably be easily or maybe handled in finger gestures, but I'm not 100% on that. So we'll go into that next after the options screen. And the options screen has just music and volume on it. So it's going to be a very quick one to do, but it has sliders, so I'll show you how to tweak those sliders in that video. Thanks for watching again.